Well, today marks the deadline for candidates to file for the upcoming primary election. And when it comes to governor, 3 Democrats and 7 Republicans are in the race. There's also a bit of a surprise today. Dylan Domingue here to break it down. Dylan?
So the field is now set on the Democratic and Republican side for the August 4th primary. First on the Democratic side. So these are the 3 candidates who have filed. They are State Senator Ethan Corson, who Governor Laura Kelly has endorsed, State Senator Cindy Hoelscher, who resides in the Overland Park area. Also filing today, Overland Park Mayor Kirk Skoog. He launched a last-minute bid for the state's top office. Now there's a much longer list of candidates on the Republican side. They include Senate President Ty Masterson, who has received an endorsement from President Trump, former State Representative Charlotte O'Hara, Wichita businesswoman Stacey Rogers, Johnson County businessman Philip Sarnecki, Kansas Insurance Commissioner Vicki Schmidt, and current Secretary of State Scott Schwab. Now, one notable omission, former Governor Jeff Colyer. Colyer did not file by the noon deadline today. He originally announced his bid for governor about a year ago, and he exits the race in the wake of President Trump's endorsement of Masterson. Today was also the deadline to change party affiliation. The next big date coming up is July 14th. That is the deadline to register to vote for the August 4th primary. Mike?